There are countless fascinating glitches in gaming. Glitches that are so incredible that even a super casual gamer would know about them. Take the BLJ, backwards long jump, in Super Mario 64. The glitch where Mario jumps backwards along a staircase at supersonic speeds to clip through walls and doors. Or maybe even wave dashing, a trick discovered in Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is so iconic it was embraced by the competitive scene, making it one of the most iconic movement glitches in gaming history. What if I told you there is another glitch out there more incredible than these two combined? A glitch so simple yet so game-breaking that even a person who's never played this game can pick up and execute. My dear viewers, let me introduce you to the 3'd tent glitch. Earthbound, also known as Mother 2 in Japan, was released to the public on August 27, 1994 in Japan, and a little less than a year later in North America. Some of you may be wondering, what is Earthbound? Well, many of you probably are regular Smash Bros. Players. Have you ever wondered who Ness is and where he came from? Well, guess what, folks? Ness originated from Earthbound, which also explains why he was also one of the first Smash Bros. Fighters ever on the Nintendo 64. To keep things simple, Earthbound is basically a game where Ness and his friends travel across various regions to save the world from an alien invasion, fighting weird enemies along the way like walking mushrooms, taxis, and this moon-type orb-looking thing. The story cleverly blends absurd humor and silliness with deep emotional moments as well, making it critically received as one of the greatest games on the Super Nintendo. Although an amazing game, Earthbound isn't usually known for speedrunning or glitches. However, I believe that Earthbound has one of the coolest gaming glitches ever. At some point in the game, the player will reach a city named Threed. There is a tent which can be accessed in the city, which is where this glitch takes place. If you walk to the bottom right corner of the tent and spam the check command repeatedly, weird things start to happen. But before we dive too deep into this glitch, I think it's worth explaining why this stuff happens. The 3 tent glitch in Earthbound happens because of a simple but game-breaking oversight. The developers never told the game to check if you are looking at a valid spot on the map. Every tile in Earthbound has data that tells the game what text or event to show when you press the check button. But if you stand in the bottom right corner inside this tent in Threed and press check repeatedly, you're actually trying to look at a spot just outside the real map. Instead of ignoring this, the game blindly grabs whatever data happens to be in memory there, which ends up being leftovers from other parts of the game, and treats it as instructions. That random data can make the game spit out gibberish text, play bizarre sounds, or in rare cases even run whole chunks of code. As you could imagine, a lot could happen with this exploit, and you are correct. Indeed, a lot can be done by simply spamming check in this corner over and over again for eternity. Let me break down for you all of the outcomes the 3 tent glitch spits out, and trust me, it gets crazy. Let's begin with the basic stuff. If you spam check enough without anything happening for a while, the game performs a text dump, where it just dumps a whole load of garbage text onto your screen. Most of the time, this text is just straight gibberish, a combination of numbers, letters, and random in-game characters all mushed together. Sometimes it's a bit more interesting than that, and there's a whole load of possibilities. During my tests, I got the random gibberish I was talking about, but I also got one where it had a small row of W's at the end. W's in the Anyways, and I got one where it spammed an infinite amount of the Greek letter beta, which was interesting. There was also a time where the text box just didn't end, and I was clicking through for a good solid 2 minutes before resetting. I've gotten these infinite texts for a variety of different letters and numbers. Who knows what they could represent? On the other hand, there was a time where the text box did end, but just froze. So I just reset again. Sometimes the game pulls entire dialogues from somewhere in the game. You can pause to read the dialogues if you like. If you've played the game before, you may recognize where these dialogues come from. You can even get dialogue that's unused in the game, which is pretty neat, although in my tests, I couldn't get that to happen. Most of the time, these dialogue text boxes just repeat for eternity too. The craziest thing that happened to me though was crashing the game. This happened twice actually. The first time it just looked like any other time, a regular text dump, but I was consistently getting the sequence JH7H. Then after a little more text dump, my screen turned black. and played the sound effect from when you obtain an item from the game. It didn't go back to normal after this, but the music kept playing, which I thought was kind of funny. The second time, however, was much more interesting. Leading up to the crash, there were a whole bunch of crazy sound effects playing. And then my screen just became distorted. It looked like an actual game crash. This genuinely shocked me. Just by pressing A, you can crash Earthbound, which is really insane. There was one final thing I could find from this glitch, and it's the coolest in my opinion. It was just a regular text dump with a bunch of 7Gs in the middle. And after a bunch of garbage text, I landed on this menu screen, which from top to bottom read mock twice, mock is and what looks like mock pizza. I immediately save-stated here so I could test all 4 possibilities. In Earthbound, you're able to make phone calls to numerous people across the world. After testing, I figured out this is the menu for all the phone calls you can make in the game. Why it's called mock is beyond me. The first mock gives you Ness's mom's phone dialogue, where the second one gives his dad's phone dialogue. It's very distorted, but you can make out some words which could let you know who's calling. The third one, which looked like gibberish, actually stands for mock escargot. Although the only thing you can read is, "Hello, this is," before it starts to go to garbage text again. I knew right away from those 3 words this was a phone call from the Escargot Express. This is essentially a service in the game which allows the player to store any unwanted items. The last one is Mock Pizza, which you guessed it, calls a pizza shop to order a pizza. This is actually the real name that they use in the game too, so I'm assuming the devs just named everything Mock because of this shop, but who knows. After all the text is written for these 4 callers, there then follows an infinite series of RRRR, which I don't know why it happens, but maybe it stands for ring 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 ring, but it's probably just more garbage text. That was all the outcomes I could find from this exploit, but trust me, there's a lot more. I'm gonna pull some footage from YouTube to show you 2 of the most absurd possibilities with the 3 tent glitch. This is the first one. This YouTuber's reaction says it all.
What? 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 All right, mild spoilers. Let's do this game. You want to play? We will play.
Yeah. This is Jackie's Cafe, a place that is actually in the city after 3 in the story, called Fourside. Apparently, it's possible to straight up warp to different locations by just pressing A in this tent corner. Chugga Conroy, which is this YouTuber, tries to leave the cafe, but the game ends up crashing.
And now I'm at the... What? Holy frick!
In a later video, he tries again and manages to escape. He roams around Fourside talking to strangers like normal, but once he gets into a battle, everything becomes distorted. For reference, this is how a normal battle screen looks like, and this is how the glitched version looks. Yeah, pretty freaking disturbing. If you thought that was crazy, wait until I tell you about the craziest outcome the 3 tent glitch has to offer. Remember that time I got the mock menu with all the phone call options? Imagine that on steroids. Welcome to the debug menu. The debug menu gives you access to everything. It's literally a cheat code hub. I could literally talk about this for an hour if I went through everything this menu has to offer, so I'll just brush over the basics. Right here, you are met with the first screen, with a bunch of gibberish text, but each group of letters represents something. I'll put a translation for what they mean on screen right now. You can do things like adding and removing party members to your team, healing your party, or giving them status ailments, or leveling up your team. You can also travel anywhere you would like using the menu, which gives you warp options to every major area in the game. In fact, if you go to this section named IBNT, you can input any number from 1 to 99 and it warps you accordingly based on how far it is in the game. Meaning 1 places you in the very beginning of the game and 99 places you near the end. Pretty neat, huh? If you're interested in learning more about the debug menu, I'll link a video in the description of this video. Well, there you have it. One of the most underrated glitches in gaming, and it all stems from one button press. There's so many other possibilities with this glitch, from other types of text dumps to other dialogues being printed out. If you have access to a video game service that helps you play Earthbound, whatever that might be, wink, wink, try out this trick for yourself. Maybe play the game first before trying it out so some of the things that get displayed actually make sense to you. Let me know down in the comments what things you have gotten from the 3-tent glitch. I'm curious to know. I'm sure there's so much more this glitch has to offer. Make sure to check out my other videos on my channel as well. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys in the future with more cool gaming videos. Peace!